We begin with new developments tonight in the Jerry Sandusky child sex abuse scandal.
A big bombshell from the Attorney General implicating a cover-up of the Sandusky sex abuse scandal from the very top of PSU. Former Penn State President Graham Spanier now charged with perjury, 2 counts of endangering the welfare of children, 3 counts of conspiracy, and obstruction and failure to report suspected child abuse.
Former Vice President Gary Schultz is facing new charges, 2 counts of endangering the welfare of children, 3 counts conspiracy and obstruction. He was already facing perjury and failure to report suspected child abuse charges.
And former athletic director Tim Curley also facing new charges. They are 3 counts conspiracy, 2 counts endangering the welfare of children, obstruction. He was also already facing perjury and failure to report suspected child abuse charges.
Well, Attorney General Linda Kelly announced these new charges today in Harrisburg.
And CBS 21's Christina Butler joins us live with the Dauphin County Mobile Newsroom in Lower Paxton Township with more. Christina?
Rob and Tanya, we are outside of District Justice William Wenner's office. This is where Tim Curley and Gary Schultz will appear tomorrow to be arraigned on their newest charges. But we have learned that Graham Spanier will not be here tomorrow. Justice Wenner tells us that Spanier is in Iowa for a family funeral, and they expect him to turn himself in here on November 7th. Now, meanwhile, there has been much speculation in the last year about what would be in this latest grand jury report. Today, Attorney General Linda Kelly made it very clear that the state believes these 3 men actively covered up Jerry Sandusky's abuse, protecting everything and everyone except the victims. A conspiracy of silence between Penn State's top 3 leaders. Attorney General Linda Kelly did not sugarcoat her stance on the charges against Graham Spanier and the additional charges filed against Tim Curley and Gary Schultz.
This case is about 3 powerful and influential men who held positions at the very top of one of the most prestigious universities in the nation. 3 men who used their positions at Penn State to conceal and cover up for years the activities of a known child predator. If these men had done what they were supposed to do and what they were legally required to do, several young men may not have been attacked by a serial predator.
And the indictment alleges this was all at the expense of the victims.
This was not a mistake by these men. It was not an oversight. It was not misjudgment on their part. This was a conspiracy of silence by top officials working to actively conceal the truth with total disregard for the children who were Sandusky's victims.
State Police Commissioner Frank Noonan.
One of the things I was struck by when I was reading it, you'll see a lot of concerns expressed by these 3 men. They had concerns for the university. They had concerns for each other. And they had concerns even for Jerry Sandusky, that he would be treated humanely. But the one fact that you will find lacking is any concern or even discussion about the children that were victimized or any other children that could have been victimized.
The newest information about conspiracy and obstruction of justice charges is exemplified in the state's accusation of a Sandusky file kept in a drawer of Schultz's. Staff were directed to never look at the file.
And Mr. Schultz was no longer with the university. His secretary knew that that file was in the file drawer. At that point, she took the file to Schultz and made a copy for herself. And subsequent to that, we found out about the file when during the grand jury process, and we managed to get it into our possession.
Emails, notes, and law firm billing hours back up the Attorney General's claims.
One of the emails that's mentioned in the presentment, one of many that's mentioned in the presentment, was sent on February 27th, 2001, from Curley to Schultz, and it included Spanier as well, where Curley discusses how to handle the 2001 situation, seemingly using words to try and mask the true meaning of the topic of the email. He refers to Sandusky as the individual or person. He refers to the Second Mile as the organization. He refers to the 1998 investigation as the first situation. And most tellingly, he refers to the victims as Sandusky's guests, as well as other evidence which establishes that all 3 of these men were well aware of both the 1998 incident involving victim 6 and the 2001 incident witnessed by Mike McQuarrie, and that they deliberately engaged in a pattern of behavior that showed an absolute disregard for the safety and well-being of minor children on the Penn State campus.
All three men are scheduled to be arraigned in Dauphin County tomorrow afternoon. And of course, we do now have that new information that Spanier will not be arraigned until next week. Now, these newest charges do alter the employment statuses of Spanier and of Curley. Curley has been told that his fixed-term contract will not be renewed when it expires in June of 2013. Spanier, of course, was ousted as Penn State president back in November, but he has stayed on the university's payroll as a professor. He, too, has now been put on leave effective immediately. Live with the Dauphin County Mobile Newsroom in Lower Paxton Township, Christina Butler, CBS 21 News.